Warning, the following may contain obilex. Join fantasy authors Phil Tucker, Timandra Whitecastle, David Benem, Benedict Patrick, and Josiah Bancroft as they roll dice and take on the bad guys in a game of Dungeons and Dragons. 5 authors, 5 worlds, 1 adventure. It's time to get crit-faced. Previously on Crit-Faced. Resting on the road to the ruined town of Berez, our heroes shelter during the night in Jean Mallarmé's magical tiny hut. However, they find their sanctuary being investigated by some horrific living scarecrows.
So I turn to my son and I say, 1, yes, it's horrific. 2, it's practically inviting a firebolt. Look how dry it is. It's like walking back on Tinder.
Can Kellen hear any of this?
Let's wake up the barbarian.
Let's get everyone up.
So you're aware, obviously, this one is investigating the dome, but there are others, shambling around in the undergrowth as well.
Okay, and wake up the others.
You give us the skinny on what's going on?
There's a situation.
It's right there. It's right there.
Okay. Something about the prophecy. There was a holy symbol, a bald man with a beard, a book with the symbol of the morning lord, missionary, garden with snow, watched over by a scarecrow. Look to the scarecrow, not to the garden. And again, just right off the top of my head.
So impressive. Like, we wake up the barbarian and he just spells prophecy.
I'm like Rain Man.
So what's the plan, guys? Now, Jean, you can probably feel in some ways it's sort of invasive, like as it's sort of touching the edge of the hut. It's almost like you can sense it. It's almost like a second skin.
Yes,
you're aware of the contact it's making.
Yes, it's not as pleasant as you would think it would be, having a scarecrow stroke your insides in this way. But I say that one of us should, if he's part of the prophecy, should go out there and parley with it. Once you leave the hut stays intact, but you cannot come back in. So you will be on your own. Lord Talfrin?
Didn't you just say that you were going to show me how it's done?
Well, see...
I sketch a bow and I gesture outside the hut. Says, why don't you demonstrate your courtly skills?
I was hoping you would teach me something, but you're so you're prickly, and so I thought if I was prickly to you, then you would show some respect to me and maybe teach me how to deal with.
There is no room in this party for cowardice.
There's a little room. I'm here. I mean, I don't take up a lot of room. There's a little room. See, we're about to walk into a very dangerous place, and I need a very powerful spell, and I was going to ask you how you do the magnificent firebolt after, making you respect me, and instead you went and wouldn't tell me how to do it, and now I'm just defenseless. So, yes, I guess I'll go out there and die. You can stay in my nice hut, and I hope you're happy, because I'm very much afraid.
Good.
Horrible man. Okay, well, it was good knowing you, McRag, and
I'll accompany you. Accompany you.
All right.
So we're all just going outside now. That's great.
I'm not. I'm definitely staying in the hut.
But I mean, couldn't Jean make himself invisible and perhaps, although...
Oh, we've done this before. Yes, I made myself invisible. I snuck out, but then how do I...
Oh, that's even better. That's a great idea.
I think... that was due to a mistake that I had made.
Oh, yes.
Because
yes.
You require concentration to keep your tiny hut ongoing, I believe.
So if I leave it, it goes away.
Oh, no, you don't. It's actually not a concentration spell. So you're actually okay. So you could do... Yep, you could keep the hut ongoing, but still become invisible. That would be fine.
That would be using up a lot of my spells right here out in the middle of nowhere. You know what? You only live once. I will just go out and see what the... Look, I trust all of you will rush to my rescue if the scarecrow starts to eat me. Is that fair?
Of course.
Okay. So I'm going to exit the tiny palace.
So are you... Sorry, what are you doing? Are you just stepping outside? Is that right?
Yes! Because I don't know, like I have like very few spells. I wasted one on this like tiny palace, which I mean some people don't even appreciate.
So you're just stepping outside, basically.
Well, no, maybe I'll come out on the other side and sort of peek around at him. Just give a little.
Are you invisible? Is that right?
No, very much visible.
Visible.
I'm in my PJs, of course.
And you can't get back into the hut, can you?
No, I'm going to die.
So okay, so you peek out over the hut. The Scarecrow, its head jerks in your direction, a bit like an animal, obviously sensing its prey. It opens the rip in its mouth, and it screams at you in a way that only a creature with hay and cloth for its organs could do so, alerting the other creatures around to your presence. Everyone take a roll for initiative, please.
Ah,
That was beautifully handled, John.
well, I was trying to lead.
No, I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes here.
Okay, Jean, what did you get?
17.
17. Okay, Master Lord Talfin, sorry.
3.
3. Master Sana.
11.
11, and Kellen.
17.
Okay, I think what we'll do is, because Jean is the one who's out and about, we're going to let him go first. So Jean, then it's Kellen, then Master Sana, then this Scarecrow and its ilk, and Lord Talfin. Now, at the moment, you are only aware of the one that is here at the... you're only sort of distinctly aware of the one that's here at the dome. You know, you're aware that there are others round about, but you haven't been able to actually see them, and you don't know exactly how many of them there are. Jean, it's your turn. You're about 10 foot away from this thing that's screaming at you, alerting its colleagues to your presence. What's your plan?
I'm filled with regret. I thought I was going to impress everyone. I just have not. Why was the Scarecrow? Okay, I'm going to cast Fairy Fire.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So every object in a 20-foot cube within range is outlined in, I will say, violet light.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So I assume you're sort of casting that sort of beyond the Scarecrow, well, sort of catching the Scarecrow in it, but trying to catch anything sort of behind it. Is that right?
So, just around me and everything directly, yes.
Okay, but would that not mean that your dudes, your pals, would get caught?
Oh, yes, I can see how it'd be a negative thing. Yes, so starting with him and then 20 feet behind him.
Yeah, okay. So the Scarecrow is illuminated in, what does it look like, your fairy fire in this particular case?
It looks like sort of a violet fur made out of light or static. So they sort of look like foreign Muppets.
Does he get to test at all?
If he fails a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, so it's no, he failed. So yeah, he gets his fire. Also, let's see. You've got 2 more Scarecrows. One off to the sort of northeast of the Scarecrow that you illuminated, and one off straight off to the west of it have been illuminated as well. Now you're aware, just from the noises around you, that there are some sort of behind you slightly as well. You know, you're kind of in the middle of this group, but you've managed to illuminate 3 of the creatures. The other 2 are just beyond 20 feet away from the hut. So they're all very close and aware of you as well.
Very good job. Very good job.
So that was your main action. Do you have any movement that you would like to make?
Can I climb on top of the dome?
Yes, sure. How tall is this tiny hut that's getting used in ways I don't think it was supposed to be?
35 feet?
10-foot radius. 10-foot radius.
Okay.
So it's, 7 feet.
Do you want to take an acrobatics check then?
Okie dokie. 14.
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like trying to climb up a particularly muddy slope. You manage to, with a bit of flailing, just go for it and guide. You can see Jean in his nightwear sort of belly flopping up the dome until he's sort of situated above yourselves. Okay, so Jean is up there. You've got 3 illuminated scarecrows, all of them in the northern area to you guys. Kellen, it's your turn.
I will go after the first scarecrow, the one closest to me.
So the one closest to you, and what are you going to do, Kellen?
I'm going to use my axe.
Okay, go for it. Your axe?
That one, my axe.
Not your spear.
Not my spear.
Okay.
11. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. 14.
14 versus AC will hit.
5.
Okay, so 5, is it slashing damage? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So you rip at the scarecrow, obviously causing a big tear across its front. However, Kellen, as you do that, you see that the some of the tear stitches up almost straight away as you do so. So there's obviously some kind of magical protection going on here for it.
Okay, and I take my second attack.
Okay, go for
it. 24.
24 will hit.
And 11.
Okay, 11 damage.
Yes.
So again, this is, I think you actually sort of lop an arm off there, and the arm, as it's falling to the ground, sort of threads shoot out from the creature's torso and pull the arm partially back. So although it is still hanging off, it's certainly not in the condition that you'd like to have left it in. Okay, so, although it's got big gashes along it, it's not half as bad as you had hoped it would have been. Okay.
Literally not half as bad.
Yeah. Pretty much. Master Sulla, it's your turn.
Okay. I just had it. Hang on. I wanted to ask a question because starting at 6th level, the monk class has the chi empowered strikes, and it doesn't say like that I have to spend a chi point. And I just want to confirm that. So it says, starting at 6th level, your unarmed strikes count as magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage.
Okay. Yeah, that seems to be. So it's unarmored strike, is that like your extra attack, is that right? Or is that just when you're using no weapons, is that right?
Yes.
So your unarmed strikes. Okay, good. But that'll affect your damage roll? Because you normally do your damage roll with a short sword, isn't that right? But yes you're right. Okay.
But because the thing is, I usually have like the first attack, and then I have the second.
Yes, is unarmed.
Because I've got the extra, and that's usually unarmed. So
okay, that's fine. So yes,
your
your second one will basically negate any resistance to magical or non-magical effects. Right, go for it.
Okay, so I'm going to go for a sunbolt. Rub my hands together to get the electricity going.
Yes.
And
are you sort of staying where you are? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it true that if you shoot out of the thing, then it falls apart? Because I will fall on them.
No, it actually says here spells cannot be cast through it. So
you have to step out. Okay.
So I have to get out.
Yeah.
But I'm very fast, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Okay.
Sunbolt is.
So where are you running to now? At the moment, you've got Jean above you. You've got this scarecrow right at the dome in front of you in combat with Kellen. You're aware that off to the northeast, there's another one illuminated by the fairy fire, and off to the west, there's one too, and there's sounds to the south of more.
Okay, I'll run towards Kellen, and he's the main scarecrow.
Okay, but you're not getting into hand-to-hand combat, is that right?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, that's fine.
So I did a 16.
Okay, 16 will hit.
Attack.
Yep.
And then, hang on, that's 6 plus 5 is a 7 damage.
7 damage. And on what kind of damage? Is this radiant damage? Is that right?
This radiant, yes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the bolt sort of rips a massive hole through this creature's torso, and it fades as it extends out to the end, and both you and Kellen notice this does not get repaired in the same way
Yes.
as Kellen's sort of slashes with his axe. Okay.
That's what I was hoping for.
Okay.
And then I have the second attack, the extra attack.
So is that? But you're not in hand-to-hand combat, isn't that right? Because
Not yet.
You're not yet. But
That's right.
Are you able to move up and then do your second attack? Is that right?
I think so.
Can you move, and attack again?
Probably not.
Well, is this the extra attack that you got at 5th level? It says here,
Yes.
beginning at 5th level, you can attack twice whenever you take the attack action on your turn. So it's, so I think you could probably do 2 sunbolts. Is that a thing? Let me look at your sunbolts. I don't think you can do 2. I don't think you can move between the 2 attacks. Let me just check your sunbolt. Where are you? You're a monk, and it's the Sun Soul. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So it says here, blah, 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 blah. Radiant Sunbolts. You gain a new attack option. It's a ranged spell. Blah, blah, blah. Die rolls changes. Blah, blah. When you take the attack action on your turn and use the special attack, you can spend 1 key point to make this special attack twice as a bonus action. So there you go. So if you spend a key point, you get to do it.
Then I'll do that.
Okay. Okay.
So I just have to remember that I've spent 1. Oh well. 12?
Okay. 12 will hit.
Okay, and 6 damage.
Okay, 6 damage, again ripping another hole in the creature. And you can see this thing is sagging under the the pain that you or the damage that you've done to it, but it's still got a bit of fight left in it. Right. Okay, is that your turn over, Master Sonna?
Yes.
Yes, now it's the Scarecrow's turn. Now, obviously, this Scarecrow is focusing on, has to focus on Kellen because Master Sonna is close to it. But Master Sonna, the illuminated one off to the west, runs up to you with its talon-like fingers and to take a swing at you. Kellen, you've actually got the one that's on you, but also another one, the one that's Jean illuminated from the northeast, runs in up to you, and you've actually also got one from off to the east that's not illuminated by Jean, comes in to attack you as well. And Master Sonna, you've got a final non-illuminated one that runs up to you with its blades. Jean, you're obviously atop your tiny hut, but finally one non-illuminated Scarecrow runs in from the south, and it's going to take an acrobatics check, which it manages to get a critical success on to climb up the hut. So it seems to take one ballet-like leap up to slash at you with its claws. So we have 6 of these creatures in total to attack. I forgot to ask, Jean, see the fairy fire?
Yes.
Did it do anything else?
It gives you have disadvantage, or we have advantage.
You guys have advantage, so they didn't need that. But I'll forget that. So just remember when they're attacking. So the ones that you have advantage on, Kellen, 2 of yours, and Master Sonna, 1 of yours is illuminated by that fairy fire. But we'll try and remember. So we'll go for Kellen's got 3 attacking him, and these Scarecrows are slashing twice with their clawed fingers. So the first one. Kellen gets 10 versus AC.
Miss.
And the second is 15 versus AC.
Miss.
Okay, so second Scarecrow gets 11 versus AC and 13 versus AC.
Miss.
And then finally, the non-illuminated Scarecrow gets 7 versus AC.
That'll hit.
7 versus AC. And 5 versus AC.
Yes.
So although you've got 3 on you, your axe just must be swinging around in these massive arcs that just seem to be stopping it from making any kind of contact with you. Master Sonna, the illuminated one clawing at you from behind, gets 15 versus AC.
Doesn't hit.
Doesn't hit. Gee whiz, you guys are tough now. And its second attack gets 10 versus AC.
No, doesn't hit.
Doesn't hit. And your non-illuminated one, gets 22 versus AC. And slashes across your back for 6 slashing damage. I also need you to take a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Because this creature is absolutely horrifying, and the fact that it's done this damage to you is could potentially have an impact on your psyche.
What?
10?
You got 10. Did you add?
Yes.
Do you have any wisdom modifiers?
Do I have to take like the saving throw modifier?
Yeah, so it's from
Yes,
the second column.
Then it's 13.
Okay, so you have managed to resist the fear of being attacked by this creature. However, its second attack gets 20 versus AC. So I imagine that also hits you for another 6 slashing damage. So it's open up ribbons of red on your back. And then finally, Jean, your Scarecrow is slashing at you. So it gets 11 versus AC.
Miss.
And 20 versus AC.
And hits.
So that's 6 slashing damage. And
wait, is that at disadvantage?
It is not. Why would it be?
It's not illuminated. That's right. Okay.
And you've got to take a wisdom saving throw.
I don't think I do.
Yeah, you do.
I don't.
You actually do.
I had a 2. I rolled a 2.
That's not good.
No, it's not. What could add my wisdom modifier?
I don't think it's gonna.
It's 2. It's still 2.
So you are now frightened of this creature for until the end of the Scarecrow's next turn. And what that means is you've got disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while this creature is in sight. Okay. So just the horror of this thing leaping up and opening up your arm has done that to you. Lord Talfrin, you've seen this onslaught of these sackcloth figures on your pals. What's your plan?
I step outside the tiny dome, I shoot my cuffs, and I say, "Have no fear, my friends. These things look eminently flammable." And I use 2 sorcery points to cast a second spell in the same round. And I'm going to cast 2 Scorching Rays.
Okay.
And there's 6 of them total?
There are.
I will first shoot one at the one attacking Master Sunna.
Okay.
So
there's two attacking Master Sunna. You've got advantage on the illuminated one.
Okay. Well, I'm sure a 19 hits.
A 19 does hit.
So that one takes 5, 6, takes 9 fire damage.
Okay, now this guy is, as you might have surmised, vulnerable to fire damage. And we've never actually had someone vulnerable to damage before. So I just need to check what exactly that means, if it's double or if it's just...
that means it dies.
Triple, quadruple, quintuple.
So listen, damage vulnerability, you double the damage. So
that's 18.
Sorry?
That'll make it 18.
18. So just this creature ignites in a most satisfying way, very reminiscent of your stickman figure. Again, still walking, still seems to have a lot of fight left in it.
All right, I'll drop another one on it.
Okay.
Does a 14 hit?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So it takes another 6. It's got 10, so 20 fire damage.
Okay, do you want to describe this creature's death?
It burns quite merrily. There's like crackles and pops. It gives off the smell of like holly and burning straw. It runs around in a tight little circle and then collapses upon itself into a cheery pile of cinders.
Okay. Do you have more to do?
Oh, I do. So I'm going to hit the other one attacking her.
Right, so you don't have advantage on this one. This is non-illuminated.
Does 11 hit?
11 does actually hit. These guys do not have great armor.
Great. So this one takes 5. He takes 8. He takes 16 fire damage.
Okay. Have you doubled it there?
Yep, that's total. And then I hit him again for that one hit. He takes another 11... He takes another 26 fire damage.
And again, this one crumples up in a very similar way to the previous one because you have destroyed it as well.
So he blows apart into like cinders and smoke. Excellent. I then turn to the one who attacked Jean, who got that fear effect on him.
Yes.
Does an 11 I know hits. Yes. So that is 4, That's 10, so that's 20 fire damage.
Okay, wow, this is, yeah.
And an 18 will hit, and so I do another 9, another 24 fire damage.
Yes, this one also is dead in whichever way you want.
Yeah, I just blast him right off the dome, so he sprays across the battlefield like falling sparks of confetti all over his sort of friends. So they're festooned with his leftovers.
Great. So we've got
catch fire. No, I can't catch the rest of them.
No.
Crit Faced is a weekly Dungeons & Dragons podcast. To make sure you never miss an episode, and to get an exclusive prequel episode of the podcast, where you can find out what our characters were up to before this adventure began, head over to critfacedpodcasts.com and join our Crit Faced fan group.